Hi, I'm Tim Sheriff. I'm going to be demonstrating the Swanstrom Spiral-Forming Pliers in this session. Before we get started, I would like to point out some of the features of the tool. First of all, these white Delrin platens are what keeps the spiral flat. On the side with the knob on it, you will see a center pin that the wire wraps around, and then there is a large hole and a small hole. The large hole will accommodate up to 10 gauge wire, and the small hole will accommodate the smaller wires. On the side of the jaw that does not have the knob on it, that jaw can be pivoted. And the reason for that is for working with different sizes and gauges of wire, you need to be able to set the jaws parallel with each other for whatever diameter you're working with in order to make sure the spiral stays flat. On the movable jaw, the jaw that pivots, there's a set screw here that you can adjust once you've got the jaws set parallel to whatever diameter of wire you're working with. So you can just screw this set screw in so that the jaws will stay parallel for the size wire you're working with. On the handle, on one of the handles of the tool, there is another set screw. And that set screw, like on our other pliers that we sell with these set screws, that set screw can be adjusted so that it limits how much force you can put on the tips of the tools. And with making spirals with the spiral plate, if you put too much force on, you won't be able to make a good spiral. You'll have trouble with it balling up on you. So now I'm going to set the tool up for 12 gauge wire, and I'm going to be making a coil or two with 12 gauge wire. To get the jaws set, I'm going to take a piece of 12 gauge copper wire and place it in the tool, and then I'm going to adjust this screw so that it's the white platens are platen for 12 gauge wire. Now I'm just going to put the wire in the front here. So I want the wire to touch at the top and the bottom. And right now you can see the bottom is a little tighter than the top. I can move the top. So I need to bring the top of the tool in a little bit. And so I'm going to screw this screw in just a little bit. And now I'm tight. I've got about the same tightness at the top and the bottom. To start your spiral, you start by making a very sharp 90-degree bend on the wire. So there's your starting bend. Now I'm going to place that in the large hole and close close the tool, and now I'm just going to rotate the knob on the tool to make the spiral. And the very first wrap that you do on your spiral, you want to keep some pretty good pressure on the thumb here to keep the wire tight, to make the first revolution nice and tight to get it started correctly. Okay, now I can see that I need to adjust my parallelism a little bit on the tool. I'm now that I've actually made a rotation, I'm a little narrower here at the top than I am here at the bottom. So I'm going to readjust this screw on the pivotal jaw so that it comes in to parallel. So now I'm parallel, and now I'm going to let the pressure up on my thumb quite a bit, and now I'm just going to turn the knob to make my spiral. So there's the spiral. And then I use a plastic picnic knife to pull the spiral off the tool. Now I'm going to readjust the tool for some 20 gauge wire to do some spirals with 20 gauge wire. And again, I'm going to start by placing a wire in the jaws and adjust the spring so that the two platens are parallel. So I've got the same tightness on the top and the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to make a 90-degree bend on the wire. Now I'm going to use the small hole and again I'm going to keep some pretty good pressure on my thumb to get the spiral started tight, and then once I've made the first revolution I loosen up and I keep just enough pressure on the handles of the tool and my thumb on the wire, just enough to keep a little bit of tension, not a lot. And I'm just going to rotate the tool to wind the spiral. And so there's a spiral with 20 gauge wire.